There's only one road to freedom. The only road to freedom is living within your means. Financial freedom. So what that means, basically, there's a guy called Naval Ravikant.
Oh, mate, he's fucking brilliant, mate.
And it's people like that who I listen to every morning because they kind of keep you on that path where, like, I've been in the position where I could buy a bigger and a nicer house. I live in a modest house, but it's a nice house and it's what I need. Now, I could have a much bigger house, but all that means I've got to exchange more time and energy into creating more money, basically to pay a bigger mortgage for bedrooms that I don't even want or need. So it's realising that there is a cycle which everyone's caught in. It's the bigger, better cycle, and it's wanting things what they can't afford, which is the reason why they get into debt. And then when they've got to pay this debt back, people become stressed. And now we live in this culture which is basically designed to make people poor. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is not a conspiracy. This is not the world we live in. It's basically structured society to...
The Leggett podcast is sponsored by Montrex. Montrex is a cutting-edge sportswear brand empowering athletes across the world, built to enhance performance and give you confidence to go the extra mile. They've got some of the most incredible products at montrex.com. There is a link below this video. Click the link and at checkout, enter the code LEGIT for 15% off your order. That's LEGIT, all one word. Everything from jackets, cargo pants, gym tops, t-shirts, running jackets, running pants. Everything is on their website, and they sponsor some of the most incredible athletes. Everything from UFC fighter Leon Edwards and a good friend of the podcast, boxer Jazza Dickens. So click the link below, use the code LEGIT at checkout for 15% off your order. Right, it's a Leggett podcast with myself, Tom Wickstead.
It's me, Andy Grant, and this week's guest is Mark Scano.
Yeah, thank you. Where am I looking here? This one?
Just this one, man. Staring right at you, mate.
Mr. Motivator.
That's a compliment, mate, isn't it? I'll have that.
So you're in the club of part 3. You're in the club of Jazza Dickens, Dean. I think it's a pretty exclusive club, mate.
Yeah, I'm in good company there.
Yeah, pretty exclusive club. We must say as well, just before, obviously this podcast is sponsored by Montrex, got the most incredible clothing. Obviously, I'm gearing some of their stuff as well.
Everyone's wearing that now, aren't they?
Yeah, mate,
they are flying.
Yeah,
they are.
A couple of really good lads as well.
The local lads?
Yeah, and Kirby.
Are they?
Mate, they're smashing it, so you get 15% off as well.
Boss.
If you use the code LEGIT. LEGIT.
And there's loads of you that's been using it because I've seen the numbers and it's looking good, so
it is
keep
insane,
doing
it.
Yeah. Send me a t-shirt, please.
Yeah, no, they're flying.
Good stuff.
Mate, I am a big fan, and I just thought be boss to have you on and just see how you've been doing since we last spoke, and just to get some of your good vibes, mate, some of your positivity.
Cool.
So let's just see where it goes.
Can I just say, again, I don't mean to just dive in straight into negativity, but how has this whole period been for you? Since we last spoke, obviously last spoke was like September time, when I think then...
It's nearly a year now.
So literally nearly a year. And then I think the mornings that we went to, both myself and Andy and hundreds of other people, I think they started to maybe get closed down or something. There was something to do with COVID, maybe, I can't remember. So how has that been for you? Like in these
on
past...
top of that, sorry, you'd just opened your business as well. So obviously you had all the COVID and business and stuff. So
I've had some businesses which have probably more so have lost work-wise and financially, but there's people in much worse situations than me, so I'm not going to sit here complaining. But it's been challenging in terms of financially and business, and obviously when you're having issues at work and stuff, it takes up time and energy which you'd rather be putting somewhere else. But I just try not to put too much focus on what's going on. I don't watch the news anyway. That's like, you don't have to know too much about me to know that. Like I tell everyone not to watch the news because it's 90% of it's bullshit. So
yeah, I'm with you on that.
And I'm just a massive believer in wherever you put your attention and what you focus on, that's what you create more of. So I just try and watch as little news, even conversations. I'm at a point now where I don't engage in conversations over it unless it's with the right people, so to say. Where I know it might just be a 1-2 minute chat and not like going down like I love Dean Garney, and most of the conspiracies what he was hitting me with 12 months ago, 18 months ago, I've actually come through and started to materialise. So.
Yeah, it's mad, mate, yeah.
But do I want to talk about it all day? No. So
that's the same thing, mate. A lot of what Dean said, certain bits of it anyway have come true, and people are going to get Dean back on again, and as much as again I like Dean and I love speaking to him, I am with your mindset and the same, like, I don't want to give this COVID thing any more attention than, even though Dean would probably argue we need to, but
it's a hard one, because for my beliefs in terms of like, and again when I say the universe and however you want to put it, but I believe at the minute there's a great, the cycle is freedom and fear, you got freedom battling fear battling freedom, and it's just this vicious circle, because no matter what, if you put your energy and all your focus into something, then I believe you feed it. Like, for an example, I've had people put things over me on social media who just hate on a lot of people I've seen. It's not just me they're picking on, they're putting a lot, but...
Really, yeah? People have come at you?
Yeah, I had someone at one time saying, basically saying I was like a fucking heroin dealer and I was this, and I put a picture on, he commented on like a watch I had on or something like that. It was on like the Christmas charity thing, and they gave me a bit of shit. I had Darren G put something on his thing, and everyone messaging me over it, but like someone created a fake Facebook of me saying I was selling fucking drugs to kids, and like just an absolute load of shit. But it's,
oh my god,
people get angrier than I do, if that makes sense, because I understand that it's not intelligent, like emotionally intelligent, to give them what they want. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well they're saying stuff about me because they want a reaction. Well, I'm not going to give them a reaction. I prefer to ignore it, and again just put me focus on, if I'm at the caravan, I was actually at the caravan with the kids on the weekend when all these messages start coming through. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Like, they slate me mum and everything. So like, personally, they actually spent all that time on creating a fake Facebook, just slandering me, and like pictures of me family and everything on there. But I was at the caravan with the kids, so it was like, I can spend all weekend getting angry at someone who, you know, has gone through all that effort to slander me and basically talk shit about me, or I can just crack on and be at the caravan with my kids and not give them what they want. So for me, that was the right decision to make, and that's what I chose to do. And it's good to get little challenges and tests like that, because obviously what I'm so into and what I'm passionate about, it's like that's a challenge for me. It's not every day things like that are going to happen. So, you know, and I'd like to say I passed the
flying colours.
Passed the test, yeah. Everyone else was getting fuming, messaging me. And
mate, I'd be fuming, Jesus Christ.
I mean, just leave me alone. I'm at the caravan, it's cool. Don't worry about it. They'll just move on to someone else the next week. And at the same time, if you want to go on a deeper level, for someone to spend so much time sitting at home, hating on people and creating stuff like this, what have they been through in their own life? They could have been fucking abused as a child, and something could have happened to them which you don't understand. For someone to be in a frame of mind to sit behind the computer all day picking faults, creating faults, and trying to basically hurt other people, you know, what's put them in that state, we don't always know. So
yeah,
you know, for me the solution is, I can't do nothing, I can't change it, just put my attention on what is going to keep me where I need to be.
Mate, it's very disciplined to be able to do, like, to not even like,
to have,
especially if you're away. Like, we get it sometimes with the podcast things, and like I know you get it a lot sometimes.
You're speaking about on the way here, mate. Someone comments on the photo I done the other day. It was like a picture of me running, winning a race, and I just said I'm in competition with no one but myself. I thought it was quite cheesy, quite motivational for people. Someone give me shit on it.
We had, like, funny enough, I was laughing with Darren Till last night on the phone, because obviously you've probably seen he's getting
I've seen that, yeah.
Now, the thing about Darren's not asked. Like, if anything, he probably thrives off the fact that he's always been like rebellious, and that's who he is, and he doesn't care what people think about him. Now, I can sit here and say, on the same level, I don't care what people think about me. I'll preach meditation and all these other things because I know they benefit you. I'll go and meditate on the beach, take a picture of me, put it on. I don't care, because I think if, like, I do videos on social media, and the person who I portray on social media, it is actually who I am. It's not false. Like we were speaking before, weren't we? It's not totally who I am. I still lose my temper sometimes. I still get angry at my kids. I'm only human. Do you know what I mean? I can still get angry at my missus. I still have my good days, my bad days, but the stuff I put on there, I am consistent with in terms of my morning routine. Do it every day. Basically set me day up every morning by spending an hour exercising, listening to motivational inspiration. I try and learn something new every day, or I relearn and continue to keep listening to things which, you know, keep me thinking on track and stuff like that. So these are all things where I've, like, basically a structure which I've created, and I still change and adapt and move it around, but I live that, and I use that to get me, basically to put me where I am today, and I'm very, very blessed to be in the situation where I'm in. But it's through a lot of hard work, like you say, discipline, consistency with the morning routines, things like that. And I just basically use my platform on social media to share that part of me, to hopefully help, well not hopefully, because it definitely inspires and motivates other people, because I get the feedback through DMs and messages and conversations what I have when I bump into people who might be in the gym, I don't even know them, and they're like, I read your stories every morning, because I'll purposely try and find things which are relevant to people who are bump into and problems what they have and common problems and issues and things like that. So that's basically what I use my social media for, and it is me. That's everything. Like you say, you practice what you preach. I preach what I practice.
Yeah.
Darren's fucking nuts. Darren say whatever Darren wants to say, and that's who Darren is. And one thing, say whatever you want about him. Like, he's right. He's fucking fought all over the world.
Yes, I totally agreed with it.
The things he's done are absolutely amazing for a kid off County Road. And he's had little farting pieces in the Echo.
Yeah, so anyone who's not knowing what we're talking about, the Echo put a story up about Darren having a go at what transgender people.
There was a meme, wasn't there?
A meme, and it was quite a funny meme to be fair. I think I liked it.
It doesn't mean I don't agree with everything what he puts on there. Sometimes he puts things on like, mate, you got kids, my lad's fucking your number one fan.
Yeah.
Come on, rein it in a little bit, but at the same time, that's only my view and my opinion.
Yeah. There's other people
who won't change, and that we need, you know, the one thing I'll agree with him to a certain extent is, I think people can be too sensitive and can't see opportunities to jump on a comment or a post and say, you know, basically you're opening the door for people to say this and people say that. It's like, and that is a problem and an issue with social media. But at the same time, where'd you draw the line between you being able to have a joke? Because I know Darren has genuinely got transgender friends. I've had the conversation with him. I know he's got gay friends. They have a laugh. They laugh at his jokes. So they're the people who he's around, and that's what his jokes are geared around. The people who he's around, he's not asked about. Like, and he said it on
the video,
I care about my friends and my family. If I'm upsetting my friends and my family, then I'm sure he wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm not condoning some of the stuff what he puts.
But there should be, obviously, like you said, he's done so much in his sport and very little acknowledgement of his local paper. And the second he does something a bit controversial, then they're all over him, which is completely wrong.
Why I was laughing is because, like, I'd like to think the stuff I do, it's all positive. There's absolutely nothing to do in the world to harm anyone. Every morning my intention is to make the world a better place, and that sounds like, but it really is, do you know what I mean? Like, I get up, you've seen I'm so consistent with my social media, that's not for me. I take time out to do that to help other people, and that's what I use it for, is me. It's just a tool and a method that I can utilise to maybe help people feel better in the morning, to share something, or to post, or to speak, or just to help someone. That's the sole 100% why I use it. In all honesty, if I could not have it, I'd rather not have it. You know what I mean? But
where do you think that's come from, that like calling to kind of want to be out there and want to be helping people? Where's that come from?
A lot of it's come from my mum, because my mum's the same. She loves listening to people, and she might disagree, but getting involved in too many people's business and taking on too many other people's problems, like, until I'd say maybe but she's done like Martin's meditation course, and she's in awake every day. Like, my mum's a total other fucking separate podcast area if I was going to start speaking about my mum. But like, the one thing about my mum, she's got an absolutely massive heart, and she's always took other people's problems on, and where we've had issues in the past, which she'd probably batter me now when she hears me say, it's like, I'll see her and speak to her, and I want to know how she is, and all she'll be doing is telling me over like everyone else's issues and problems, because she's absorbing they see a lot of other people's shit, and then, you know, in a way she's kind of trying to maybe get it off her chest to me, and at the same time I'm on my own like vibe, frequency, whatever you want to call it, and I don't really want to listen to it, because it's not as much as I sympathise for anyone who's having problems and I want to help them. It's not helping me. I mean, listening to, you know, if I'm spending 20 minutes with me, I want to hear how she is, what she's been up to, not like some woman who lives next door but one to fucking Kathy's fucking mate's sister. You know what I mean? All their problems.
And I guess, mate, if you're listening to other people's problems, you can't focus on yourself, as selfish as that is, but you can't be the person you are, which is helping so many other people, if you're not putting time and energy into yourself.
I put something on the other day over, is it selfish or is it selfless? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you have got to prioritise your own physical and mental health over everything and anyone, because at the end of the day, if you feel shit and you're having a load of problems yourself because you're putting everyone first, you end up in a position where you can't help no one, and you can't even help yourself. So you have got to prioritise and focus on putting yourself in the best place you can be, because just through being that person, and that's what I believe, and that's what I see in the likes of Luke Powell and Callum Webb and these people who are all becoming really successful in what they're doing, they're actually being that person. It's authentic. Martin Bone's the same, he lives and breathes meditation. So I'd like to think we are a group of people who are out there helping people better themselves in some way, but we're doing it through being that person ourselves. We're not, it's not like this fake Instagram, fucking putting pictures of like training, and then as soon as the camera's away, I'm fucking putting me dumbbells down and eating a McDonald's. Like, we live it.
Yeah. Mate, you put some good stuff on your stories. I think
your stories are brilliant.
Some of this stuff certainly resonates with. There's some. I think it wasn't too long ago you put something on about valuing your so like, trainers worth £400. If you earn X amount, like just valuing your own revenue, your own income relating to, you see people walking around in all sorts of different types of gear and material things, and relating that to your actual time that you've got to work, whatever your work is, to earn that piece of, that iPhone, that watch,
There's
that
only one road to freedom. The only road to freedom is living within your means, financial freedom. So what that means, basically, there's a guy called Naval Ravikant.
Oh mate, he's fucking brilliant, mate.
And it's people like that who are listening to every morning, because they kind of keep you on that path where, like, I've been in the position where I could buy a bigger and a nicer house. I live in a modest house, but it's a nice house, and it's what I need. Now, I could have a much bigger house, but all that means I've got to exchange more time and energy into creating more money, basically to pay a bigger mortgage for bedrooms that I don't even want or need. So it's realising that there is a cycle which everyone's caught in. It's the bigger, better cycle, and it's wanting things what they can't afford, which is the reason why they get into debt. And then when they've got to pay this debt back, people become stressed. And now we live in this culture which is basically designed to make people poor. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is not a conspiracy. This is not the world we live in. It's basically structured society to have a load of people who've got loads of money, and then a load of people who are basically working for them. And are fucking poor, living hand to mouth, and that's not, for me, that's not how it's supposed to be, and that's a problem that's a massive problem as I'm getting older and I'm starting to basically study human behaviour and stuff like that more, and realising like we live in a massive, like, you've seen the film The Matrix. I used to watch The Matrix, it freaked me out. And I'm like, well, in some form we do kind of live in a matrix where the world this society and the world we live in, it's designed. You don't have to fall into it. Like, I design my own life, which means I work when I want to work. I earn my own money for what I need, not what I want. But like, if someone said you want a fucking £5 million yacht, I'd be like, yeah, that'd be nice, but do I want to go and fucking not see my kids and spend every day trying to come up with ideas, and which I could, more than capable of doing. I'm not stupid. I could go and like I've said one of the last times, if I wanted to be a billionaire, hand on heart, I believe in some way I'd figure out a way to do it. It might take me 20 years of me not seeing my kids, and I know people now who've earned absolute fortunes. The biggest regrets is working all life and not spending time with the family. So it's figuring out and basically designing your own construct, your own financial structure, what you need to live, what you need to obviously still be able to save, and invest, really, not even so much save money, but still be able to invest. And for me, I think like a big motivation behind earning money is being able to, in a position to help other people and to give. So it's like, for me, I've got to have what I need to pay me bills, and for me, cost of the life what I choose to live now, which I'm happy with. So like, I like cars. I'll always have a nice car, spend a lot of time in the car. I'm a scouser, love cars. You know, don't mind watches, things like that. The nice things to have, but the fact that I've got them and I've had them, like, I'm fully aware now, they're not what make you happy. Have them if you can afford them, and if you like them. It's absolutely nothing wrong with having these nice things, as long as they're not everything, and you basically base your idea of success and happiness on having things, because all you'll find is you end up in this bigger, better cycle.
100%, mate.
And you just end up in that vicious circle of never actually being happy.
I remember when I went to a jewellery shop, I can't remember what I was buying, and I was just literally just looking at a watch. And the first thing the woman said to me, I said, how much is that? I can't remember. I think it was a Breitling or something like that. Just out of pure curiosity. And she said, I don't know, but you can split the monthly payment, so you can do 72 months at, I don't know, I can't remember what the figure was. And I just thought straight away, you're trying to tie yourself into, I mean, imagine buying a watch and splitting that cost, I don't know if it was $4,000 or whatever it was, splitting that cost over 72 months, and then you're just shackled constantly. Every single month you have to pay for that watch. And the watch, after 4 weeks, you soon lose interest. It's a nice watch, but after a month, 2 months, 3 months, it's just a watch, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Same with cars. I've had a lot of different cars and stuff like that, and I like cars. I want a nice, comfortable car, and I fucking work hard, so I deserve a nice car. But after a week, it's just a car.
It's a great thing I've seen, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like a guy who wakes up in the morning and goes to bed at night, and in between does what he wants. That's like financial freedom.
Yeah, freedom's being in a position where basically you can have what you need, because there's a difference between your wants and your needs. You need to you need them, you've got to have them. You can turn your wants into needs, but that's just, for me, that's dependent on how happy that thing's going to make you and how much value it's going to add to your life. So there's been things when I was a kid, I needed the same things as me mate, so I always had the ability to figure out a way to get in. Being in school, like, I didn't have, like, we didn't have no money.
You did a sweet story when we told on the first podcast.
And there was nothing I ever, like, I've seen me mates with it, mad, but I've always visualised and seen myself having things what maybe my friends had and I wanted. But it wasn't the case. I didn't want them, and needed them. That was where I was at when I was a kid, because, I was proud and I was like one of the lads, and the fact that, my mum had to struggle to get us whatever she got us, if she was in a position to not be able to get me what me mates had, and I wanted to be like them, so to say, and I needed to get whatever it was, and that was whether it was, it was selling sweets.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I was earning fucking £150-200 a week some weeks, and my mum would vouch for me. Like a walking tuck shop, and like my mum used to actually help me. My mum would come to
all cash as well.
In the summer I had like a proper all cash. The crazy fucking freezy graft. So Mr. Freezy, but he'd melt. So what had happened? My mum at dinner time would come and I'd sneak around the back like this, but we had this like these football pitches, so as soon as the bell would go, I'd be out with my bag, I'd sneak around the back of these things, and my ma would be coming with a Burger King chicken royale meal, so from the Burger King, and passing me big bags of freezies over the fence.
Brilliant.
So I was like on the yard cracking on, fucking eating me chicken royale while everyone's having the pack lunches.
That's quality. Just fucking
emptying me freezies and probably going back for like another bag 20 minutes later. So my mum was actually seeing that side of me, and she helped me. She'd take me to Costco to get, like, basically try and increase my profit margins by buying in bulk from fucking Costco. So I was going to Costco and buying stuff, and she was actually taking me to places with my own money to buy my own BMXs, or I don't know, maybe whatever the games were at the time, burger houses. I remember I used to go on the Echo, and they used to have like a second-hand section, and I remember I'd be on there looking for like these burger houses and what all like my mates had, but I put myself in a position where I'd be on there looking for these second-hand ones, like, I don't know what the word is, like, I'd be really wanting them, do you know what I mean? But then I'd just figure out a way, I'd be selling sweets or doing whatever I'd do in school, and I'd be buying my own. And it was like, when I started studying, like, obviously I'm into like law of attraction and things like that. When I actually started studying it, like listening to reading The Secret, and I used to go for runs every day and listening to The Power on audio book, and like that was a big part of me looking back in my life and go, well, there's nothing I've ever needed that I haven't managed to get. Do you know what I mean? So it was like,
must be a great confidence boost that, to know that you've kind of got the mindset now and you've proved it. You must feel like it.
Yeah, because I am living proof of everything what I preach and what I say. You can have what you want, but we're conditioned. Like, obviously, now I do. I've been working in schools for
I thought that was brilliant, that.
2 years, but people don't really know that. I've been in the schools for 2 years, because I never really put it on social media, but I basically created a project called the I Am Project, because your words are basically, people don't realise, the words what you speak are an expression of your emotions and your feelings, and they're just an expression of your thoughts. But then what's controlling your thoughts is your environment. You're conditioned to think a certain way. So if your environment's controlling your thoughts, that's controlling your emotions, and the end result is your words and your actions. Then basically the outer world can be controlling your life experience without you even realising it, and that's like I say before, that's the world, the constructed world, or what we live in now. That's our society, but you don't have to be part of it. That's like, create your own ways. If there's somewhat you love, or like for me, the Think and Grow Rich, these type of books, and what I know, like why Callum's doing well, Luke's doing well, is because it's about figuring out a need, what society needs, what problem are people having, how can I make it better?
100%, yeah.
And people will pay you for it, because that's the laws of the universe. There's got to be an exchange, and the exchange is cash and money. So if you figure out, if I know fucking Tom would really want to put on weight, but really can't put on weight, I find the reason.
How do you know that? I do.
If I Tom might want to.
I do actually want to put on weight.
Arms, and Tom can't get bigger arms. I've spent 20 years in the gym. I figured out the best way to get big arms. And I share that with Tom. Next minute, Tom's flexing, wearing fucking sleeveless t-shirts and all. He's got this big set of arms. Tom should give me some money, shouldn't he? And that really is the way of the world. That's how.
Mate, it's a brilliant. I always say and some people don't like the world we live in and blah blah blah. But I think it's a fantastic world that. It doesn't matter what background you're from, whether your dad's a billionaire, whether your mum's got no money, whatever it is that if you produce a product or service that the market wants, the market will reward you with that.
Yeah, or if there's one already out there and you figure out a way to sell it differently.
Yeah.
That's
like the market doesn't care if you come from a single family background, but if you produce one fucking hell of a product or service that people want to buy, then you will be rewarded for it. And
become multi-millionaires within 12 months, multi-millionaires within 12 months off just doing exactly that. So that's why I say, if I was to channel all my time and energy into coming up with ideas, because I'm in a position where I have got some money and I could invest in my own ideas now. I don't want to do that no more. I earn enough passive income to where I've actually got freedom of time to be present with my kids and not be having fucking 30 phone calls in a day, 40 phone calls in a day. Stuff which might bring me money, but at the same time it's taking away time from my kids all the time, to myself, time away from my wife.
Yeah, mate.
Like, that's what.
When you talked about Naval, he's got a brilliant Twitter thread when it's like how to. I think it's something like how to get rich, and he breaks all of the things down. I think this thing I could get it up for you, but it's a fantastic. If anyone's listening, I can never spell his or pronounce his surname. Naval.
I say it different every time.
Yeah, it is a fantastic. I think he's like big in investments and things like that. He got in early in certain incredible, huge, large companies. There's another book as well. I don't know if you read, by Bill Perkins, called Die with Zero, and it's about.
Oh, you put me onto that one.
Yeah, he's a really, really cool guy, and he's.
Do you know where that comes from?
Go on.
There's a guy called Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah.
And he basically says, if you die a rich man, you deserve to go to hell. And what he done before, he was the richest man in the world at one point, I believe. And he's just a little fucking Scotsman. Went over to America, got into the steel industry, and just took over. And when he died, I think he died at Nottingham. He basically built libraries, schools all over the world.
Yeah, there's loads. There's one in Leeds. Yeah, Carnegie sent it.
I'm not saying if you die with a load of money, then you deserve to go to hell. But what I will say is, if what use is it if you can't spend it? So I totally get it's a strong way to put it, but really,
yeah,
believing in it to a certain extent.
His whole thing is he made his money in Wall Street. He's something to do with trading or something, or had an investment company, and then I think he started to understand how just valuing his time and how the purchasing of experiences throughout life has helped him more than anything, and to literally just try and figure out a way how we see people all the time who there's some people who won't go to Starbucks because they're trying to save, constantly save for 20 years, 25 years, but I certainly don't want a life like that where I can't suddenly go to Starbucks and buy a coffee because I'm worried about, so it's a brilliant book. I've got it at home, so next time I see
it's one of those things.
If you've got lack mentality, you'll always live in lack. Like wealth is a mindset. Like it is. And I'm not saying you go out and spend all your money and buy all the most extravagant things and things like that, because really the only reason why you buy things, ultimately, is a feeling. So for me, the definition of wealth is how you feel. If you feel good, then you're wealthy. If you feel shit, then you're poor. It's not about how much money, how much the flashy things that you've got. Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong, like I said before, in buying things if you appreciate them and you like them. That's absolutely fine. But again, it's falling into that thing where more wants more, and you never actually, you're never not satisfied, because I believe in a certain way, and again, it's something what I know people kind of don't really get this, but you can be grateful and dissatisfied at the same time. So, there's a guy called Bob Proctor who mentioned that he like, it's off him who got it, and he says it's the ultimate growth state. Because what it means is obviously gratitude attracts more and creates more of whatever you're grateful for. So even if you've got virtually nothing, if you can come to a place where you're grateful for it, that's how you actually attract more. Because if you haven't got much and you resent the fact you haven't got much, then you've got absolutely no chance of creating any form of wealth in any way. Do you know what I mean? You'll just only attract more back.
Yeah.
Mate, I've met people, right, and I am like this, right, even when, I don't know, like, without getting too personal, like my mum died, or I got blown up, or all of, like, the big tragedies I've had in my life, I don't know where I've got it from, but I've had this, like, weird confidence that it'll always be alright, and I've met certain people like that in my life, and vice versa. I've met people who were just always stressed and always, you know, negative and thinking, and I don't know where you get to it, but I don't know, I think it's that mindset of, and it attracts.
You're scared of, because you've got to put money out and you've got to put energy out to create more of it, to get it back. So it's like, the more you hold on to things, the more you're scared of losing them. They're the people who actually lose them. Do you know what I mean? And it is like,
it's like not being scared to have a go and just, you know.
Yeah, like I've tried loads of things, like fucking about healthy food places. I've tried to do a big inflatable cinema.
Remember you said that last time.
Blew away on the Albert Dock. And I actually borrowed money off a family member to set it up and do it. Money that I didn't have. So that's how much faith I had in my ideas. It was like, it was going to work. But then when it weren't going to work, it weren't going to work. And I was on to the next one. And there's never like a feeling of like being disarmed, or even like to, like in the, I've got a business partner and I'm best mate, and we read a lot of the same books and we share a lot of the same thought processes and stuff like that. And if we work together in terms like we do building and construction and we're property developers, so if we miss out on a site, it's never like, we never dwell on the fact someone else has beat us to it, like, because there's a better one round the corner. And like, it doesn't always mean there is, but the fact that's what we believe, it's like, you know, we're never in that negative frame of mind where like we lost out on something and we spend time dwelling on it. We're just straight on to the next one. I've kind of always been the same in terms of I'm willing to fail at whatever. I don't even have the thought of it. I'm going to succeed in whatever I do until I fail. And then when I fail, I'm just straight on to the next thing.
It's mad, that, isn't it? Because again, that confidence where you've got, and you see it, like you see people who have just got, yeah, so what, we go again. Yeah, and it's, I don't know, I've always felt it, but I think you'd almost get attracted sometimes to people like that, don't you? Like you say, your best mates like that.
Ultimately, they become successful because it's like, I have a thing with my little girl who's 5, and it's like, when anytime we're on our own, we go for a walk or whatever, like my missus laughs because she gets it now, because she's starting to see it's actually rubbing off, and my daughter's the most stubborn, like, won't take no for an answer. And the reason she part of the reason why she's like that is we go on walks and I say things to her like, what happens if you try something and it doesn't work? And she goes, try again. And I say, what happens if you try again and it doesn't work? And she goes, try again. I say, what happens if you keep trying and it doesn't work? She goes, try a different way. I say, how many different ways you try until it works? How many different ways you try? She says, until it works, until I do it. And it's just planting them seeds in like kids now. It's like, she never says can't, she pulls me if I say can't. She's telling me off for saying like I can't do something, even if it's used in a different context. Because not very often I'll use the word can't, like I can't do something. I always attach like the stuff I do in the schools I get the kids, because the first thing when you're going to new kids in the school and you've never boxed before and you're getting padded like I can't, and straight away obviously I pick up on that and start saying you can't yet. But I guarantee in 6 weeks you'll be able to punch pads and know what a takedown is, but you've never done it before. You can't expect to be good at it the first day. Do you know what I mean? Like Ronaldo couldn't play football the first day he kicked the ball. Look at him now, neither could Lionel Messi.
I seen a thing saying like, because of social media, people see the end product and just expect that, and it's like they don't see the process.
Yeah.
They go, I can't do that. But it's like, well, no, because you haven't seen the 10 years, the 20 years, the 30 years of things that have happened before then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mate, when you're in schools, is there anything, again, this is quite a broad question, Mark, but would you change anything with, like, if you were to run a school, how do you think you would run it? Would it be, because I know
I'd be signing me little girl up for it.
I know, yeah, fucking so would I. Because I know some people have things with the school system and, you know, maybe there's a lot of negativity with it, and there isn't the, you know, if you were the principal, if you were the headmaster of a school,
got American now, have you, principal?
Yeah, I think you'd absolutely smash it. I think the question I'm trying to get at is, you know, would you focus on more of like the athletic side of things, like the fighting and that sort of discipline, or would mix it in?
Is to get a physical and mental well-being program on the school. So the stuff I do in the schools, they have to sacrifice sometimes a PE session to spend an hour and a half with me, which I think is wrong, because you shouldn't take PE off them. Why aren't you taking maths, English, science, anything else off them? You might have the next fucking 100 metre fucking world best athlete in the world, and you're taking a PE session off him. You could have the future fucking Steven Gerrard, and you're taking a PE session off him where he's going to go and learn to play football, to put him in with me, which, you know, who's to say he's ever going to be a martial artist and like that. So I think really in terms of that, maybe that's not fair, because they value obviously a lot of these other things over
like the academic versus,
not all kids are academic. I weren't really academic. Most of the stuff I've learned now is just through self-studying and specified knowledge into whatever. So big thing for me is a focus and learn about whatever I need to get me to wherever I need to go. I don't need to know 95% of what I learnt in school. For me, the message I try and get across to the kids is, once you leave school, it's about your attitude. You've got to be able to work hard. There's going to be days and things what you've got to learn which you haven't really got much interest in, but if you can learn to actually learn, which is a skill in itself, learn to concentrate, learn to be a good person, learn to be more confident in your ability, the fact that you're not going to be great at anything at the start, but if you keep making progress and working on it, then eventually you can be amazing at anything. That's the kind of message because I won't call the schools in the sense of I'm in the schools, and some of the teachers who I come across are amazing. Yeah. They really care about the kids. But I think the system in general is fucking like 100 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Backdated, and it needs to change, because not every child is going to even need. Obviously, we all need some form of basic maths and English. Yeah. You know, if you're going to be a painter or an artist or a singer, or, you know, then that's what it should be a lot more diverse in the things which they're actually getting the kids into. Like, we're trying to create a program called, but we're not trying to create a program. We are creating a program called Find Your Purpose. So I get kids to sign into a 6-week period, and over the 6 weeks, they try something different each time. But I engage in it with them. So if it's painting, we'll all go and paint. If it's singing, we'll all go and sing. If it's drama, we'll go and do some acting. I'll get involved, because the kids have got to see me doing it, to encourage them, because everyone's ego. And so it's getting to try and get them to try as many different diverse things as we can to find the next boss painter or the next because a lot of the kids aren't open to do that, because they're too scared what their mates will think, and either a football player, a fighter, if you're a girl, maybe a dancer. Or
I remember Jamie Webster said the same thing. You know, he's doing amazing now, but you know, he used to go to the match and he'd get on the coach with all the lads, and he didn't want to say, oh yeah, I'm alright on the guitar, you know, and I can sing, because he's like, loads of lads who go to the match, it was a bit like, and it's so, I always use that little example of when I joined the Marines, learned how to ski. I was like, no one from Liverpool ever went skiing, so you don't know what you don't know, do you? And I think that idea of trying new things,
you've got to try as many new things as you can. I think again, a lot of parents push the kids into these things because it's the thing to do. Do you know? But try them in as many different things as you can. You go there and do the things with them if you can, because I think you just don't know what your kids, you know, you say purpose. I don't believe everyone has one set purpose and that's it. You know, they're going to be unhappy unless they find that one thing. I believe there's numerous, everyone's got different purposes. It can be anything. Basically, it's whatever you love. And for me, the reason why the Ronaldos and the people like that are so successful is they found something what they love. And obviously got the natural, you know, it's not all about, anyone who says talent doesn't exist has never coached kids, in my opinion, because I've coached kids wrestling classes, MMA classes and stuff like that. Some kids come in, 2 kids come in on day one. One's amazing, picking everything up, and the other one, you know, has got to work harder at it and maybe need to spend more time. But they just learn differently. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, one thing I wish that certainly, I don't know if they do it now, is in schools is talk more about the financing. I mean, it's a different question whether I'd even pay attention back then, but you know, things as stupid as paying bills, or you know, very hands-on things that, you know, that everyone needs day in day out now, that you just don't get taught. You know, don't get taught in schools as well. I think that's a big one. And another big one which my school did very good at is we constantly did like PowerPoint presentations in front of people to get you confident in terms of speaking in front of people. I mean, you're amazing at what you do, so how important is that, being able to speak in front of people, so that can benefit you in sales when you go into sales, being able to say,
mental health is people are scared to actually speak how they feel.
Do you not find that with young people when you go into some schools? I find that young people are lacking confidence and they won't look at you in the eye and they won't.
Absolutely, the way I run a session with the kids is we come in and we watch a motivational, inspirational video. So it's kind of like my mornings. We'll go in, we watch something to motivate and inspire them, and then I ask them loads of questions. Like, here's Muhammad Ali, he's like a perfect example, and I show them videos of him actually speaking his reality into existence, which is like, I'm the best, but he wasn't. But he's actually speaking it and he believed in it. And when you can show kids, people like him, examples like that, who they can relate to, then, and you can actually show them that the only difference between him and maybe where you are right now is the fact he's got so much confidence and belief in himself, and look how hard he trains, look how hard he works. So it's finding what, he might be a boxer, that doesn't mean necessarily you've got to be a boxer, a footballer, or find something you love and enjoy doing and become the absolute best at it. That should be your goal. Not saying you're going to be the best at whatever it is, but like, really your goal should be the fucking number one on the planet at whatever that thing what you love doing is.
And I guess even if you don't get to number one though, because you love it, you're enjoying the journey, and it's all about the journey. The goal anyway, isn't it? It's never about the goal. No, like in terms of, we spoke about goals in the past, go and set a goal which is absolutely, like, I won't say impossible because I won't use that word, but if there's absolutely no chance you're ever going to achieve it, like it is impossible, then yeah, you might improve along the way, but will you actually be motivated and inspired to pursue something which you're never actually going to be able to achieve it? So in some sense, even the word's realistic, I don't like using these words, but pick achievable goals, which might sound crazy to everyone else, but if you believe you can achieve them yourself, then you definitely can. But it's not like goals aren't so much like, at the minute I was goal driven for years and I used them to get me to a certain position. But like, you would have a goal to earn a certain amount of money, and along the way be like, well, why do I need that certain amount of money? I don't need that exact amount of money, because if I earn a lesser amount of money, but I'm not too bothered over having all these acquiring all these big expensive things, I'm actually happy and appreciative for the lifestyle what I've got, then it's like, then your goals can change. But it's not a bad thing having these like set targets to work towards, and if you change your mind along the way and realise they're not actually as important as you first thought they were, and you change to something else, that's fine. But you should always be striving and working, in my opinion, towards something, because like you're the saying, if you don't use it you lose it, or if you're not going forward, you're going backwards, and in some sense you are. Like a lot of the stuff I do with the mornings, I'm re-listening to the same videos. There's videos I've got downloaded, I've listened to them 100 times. Do you know what I mean? And that's like to keep me in that mind frame. I've got to keep constantly working to improve, whether it's to have more money, whether it's to be a better parent, spend more time with my kids, to learn more, to be able to share more is a big one for me. Then it's like, you've got to be working towards something which is going to make you better. That's massive, because if you're not moving towards something, then you find that a lot of the time you get stuck in the past memories and maybe things which you've not been going so great in the past, and that's kind of your choice, working towards something, having something to strive towards, or just being stuck in the past and going nowhere. Yeah, I think that's something that we've done. Like we've just had this goal, haven't we, of the podcast, and like say when we first met, we were just in Rob's back garden basically, and you see where it's kind of gone now, and we visualised this, didn't we? We said one day we'll do this, and I think it does work, and
it's good to put that out there. It's good to write that down. It's not essential, but it definitely helps having written goals and written targets and reviewing them, looking at them every day, because it's so easy to get distracted and fall off track with it. That's my whole purpose behind, like, I spend 5 mornings a week and I just call it reprogramming and programming my mind to think a specific or a certain way. So I'll watch and listen to certain material, and I take that time, like I'm so big over the mornings, because in our society, which is a 9-to-5 society, so to say, in general, that's the best time to make that time, because after work, all day, you're mentally exhausted, energetically, you're not where you need to be. To learn, the best time to learn is when you've got the least amount of stuff going on in your mind and you've got the most energy. For me, that's the mornings, because you've had a good sleep, you've just got up. So if you can make that window in the morning to work on yourself, to learn something, like I actually exercise and listen to things every morning, at least 5 mornings a week. So I'm exercising my physical body, so I'm getting fit and staying healthy, burning off my bar of chocolate from last night, whatever it is. But at the same time, I'm programming my mind, consciously and subconsciously, to think a certain way, which is congruent with where I want to go in my life and how I want to feel and what I want to achieve. If you don't do that, and you fall and basically victim to the world which is being constructed to make us poor or whatever, to make us sick. You know what I mean? It's like, no, again, it's...
You've nailed it. What was funny, so the other week, and we had to end up having a great chat, and if you don't mind, maybe we'll end up repeating some of the stuff we spoke about, but we ended up chatting for about half an hour about it, and it's such a fascinating debate. So the other day I posted a video going, you don't have to get up at 5 a.m, meditate and get cold showers to feel great. I said, I've had a few beers and I feel fucking great, I've had a great day. and it got like loads of people messaged me after it, loads of people laughing and stuff, and what I was getting at, you kind of brought me a little way around to your way of thinking. First of all, I personally can't get up at 5 a.m. I've tried it, it just doesn't work for me. I do get cold showers, and I've been on Martin's course, and meditation in that sense isn't for me. And what I meant was, I kind of saw, or I can see at the moment, a lot of people who, what you kind of touched on before, maybe trying to put out that they're living this way, but aren't genuine. And I've seen a lot of people trying to kind of almost capitalise or make money on trying to be something they're not. And that's who it was kind of aimed at, because we've had you on, we've had Martin Bowen on, and you are two people, it's clear to everyone to see, are living this way, and I've been doing long before Instagram was here, doing its thing. And if it doesn't frustrate me, because it doesn't bother me, I don't get worked up over it, but it was kind of like the fakeness of people trying to put out there that they're trying to help. It was kind of a little bit annoying to me, when it was kind of making people feel bad that they weren't doing that. And then you kind of said, well, whether they are or not, they're encouraging people to be better. I have
the conversation. I've got mates who spent 30 years in the gym and know the ins and outs of fucking... I'm trying not to swear. They know the ins and outs of the duck's arse when it comes to bodybuilding, training, exercise and all that. They're absolutely crap on social media. So they haven't moved with the time. So they sit in a little room hating on everyone, all these PTs who've done the level 1, 2 course, whatever it is. And they're out there now selling themselves on Instagram. But the problem is, they haven't evolved. They've sat in their little room and they're still in 30 years ago. They might have took all this information just regarding bodybuilding, but sales and marketing is just as important as knowledge and information. So if you can't study sales and marketing to get your information out there to help people, then you deserve to be in that room. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
If you go and get a lad who's done a level 1 or level 2 course and his intention is to help people, which a lot of them do get where you're coming from, but if you try something that works for you, what I've been guilty of, especially, and a lot of other people that are guilty of, and what you see today is, they start trying this routine, it makes them feel amazing, and they want to share it with everyone. But then, what you're saying is, a month later, they're back getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and so it's not always intentionally someone trying to like manipulate people to make money. A lot of it, they can try something which has worked and make them feel really good. They might still be practicing it day in, day out. Like a personal trainer as an example, and they're just using that to basically sell themselves to people. And what you'll find is, if it's helping people and they're paying for it and they're getting something from it and they're implementing it, then it's not a bad thing, because if it's not helping them in any way, then you'll find a lot of them, they just stop paying for the service. You only continue to pay for the service. I
always remember that what I'll compare it to is quite funny. I remember I'd just done a marathon or a half marathon or something, was in really decent shape, and I won't like say the pub or anything, but goes into the pub and the barmaid who was me kind of mate type thing, let's just say wasn't the healthiest and liked having a drink and other things and stuff. And there's me just done a marathon feeling really fit, and she comes in and she was like, oh Andy, you're into your fitness, you should get on this Herbalife that I'm doing, it's dead healthy for you. And I was like, you don't go to the gym, you don't do anything, I've just ran a marathon and you're trying to
sell me Herbalife.
And I'm like,
if you're on 20% commission.
Exactly. And I was like, I just feel with that kind of morning routine, it's like there's the genuine of it, and then there's that kind of fucking hell, yeah.
People have just got it, mate, everyone's different. Like I've studied.
Well, I like what you said. The idea of whether they're disingenuous or not. It's still kind of nice, and the fact that they're trying to have a go.
Might be pure 100%, and that's because if you do something, like if I do something that makes me feel good, a massive part of my motivation behind learning new things, studying and the books I read and things like that, is to be able to share that information with other people. So I'll listen to things, I'll practice it. If it works for me, I'll share it. And that's how we're supposed to evolve. That's how you do evolve.
I seen a thing, and it said storytelling was far more important than opposable thumbs with our evolution. It's like, because they said like opposable thumbs helped a lot, but storytelling, sharing information of
living examples, the most powerful thing in the world is a human living example. Like people who beat cancer, get on, if you're comfortable to do that, get on stage and tell people how you've done it, because there's people out there need to hear it, because they go and see these fucking doctors, and these doctors are like, you're fucked. Do you know what I mean? How do you know? Just because that's what you've been taught. That's what you've learned in a book. Do you know what I mean? I know examples of people who've had diseases and been told they're finished, and the best thing that ever happened to them.
Look at Zach when he was getting told he'd never walk, and look at him now.
It's flying,
no, 100%.
So it's at the end of the day, it's a lot about who you are in terms of things like that, I think. But I think it can be taught, like in terms, that's my mission with the kids, is try and change the way of thinking, change the perceptions, change the beliefs, because they're programmed by the parents and their environment. Mostly. So like there's different brain states, so you go and get hypnotised. We spoke about this before, haven't we? They put you in a state of theta. Theta is basically a hypnosis state, which means you download information, it goes straight into your subconscious. Doesn't mean it works the first time, you might go and get, but hypnosis actually works.
Have you been hypnotised?
I've tried it once, yeah.
Did it work?
I've only done it once.
Have you? I'd love to try it.
Yeah, it's something.
I'd love to try it.
To Phil, my PT, he's.
Oh, he does it, does it? Yeah.
Phil, he's the man.
Of course he does, yeah.
But basically, what hypnosis does, it puts you in a state of theta. So you've got 4 brain states: delta, theta, alpha, and beta. Beta is what you're in most of the time. High beta is when you're stressed and you're really busy. Then as you come down, you look into low frequency. So you go from beta into alpha. You start to become into a more relaxed state, and you can actually take on board more new information. When you're in theta, you download the information. So kids are in theta up until 7 years of age, between delta and theta. So you start in delta from a baby. That's why they sleep a lot, because delta's like sleep. They enter theta, and they're in theta up until around 7-8 years of age. And again, we said, like, it wasn't the Bible, it was a quote from it, said, give me the child till he's 7, and I'll show you the man. So they understood this fucking hundreds, maybe 1,000
That's powerful,
years
ago.
Isn't it? Yeah, and basically what it means is what you condition into that child in the first 7 years of their life becomes their view of the world, their perceptions, their beliefs. And their whole life is just, after that, it's just an expression of them, like, ingrained beliefs and
in those 7 years,
perceptions in the first 7 years. So, like, an example is if you speak about lack around your kids in the first 7 years of their life, that becomes their worldview and their normal. So if you're like, you go to the supermarket and the kids ask for something and, you know, you don't really want to get them it, or they don't need it, or maybe you haven't got the money, you say to them, no, we can't afford that, that's far too expensive. Well, their worldview then becomes things are too expensive, it's normal to not be able to afford things, and then their whole life will basically fall in line with their beliefs of, you know, it's normal to not have money, it's normal to live in lack.
Could it not be argued though that if you are living in lack, it gives you that then hunger then to beat it?
That's just based on your own personal perceptions and beliefs. People can use situations to inspire and motivate them, or they can dwell on them and use them as excuses.
Yeah.
And that's based on, like, again, that's the work I do with the kids, is try and explain that to them. You have a choice. You can choose to, it's everyone else's fault, you can choose to blame people, or you can say, well, fuck that, I'm going to use all these, I've done it myself. Do you know what I mean? I shouldn't be where I am now, based on the people who I've been around, growing up, and my own life experiences. Like, I've never spoke about it again, but my dad went on heroin when I was 2 and my mum was pregnant with my little brother, so he was missing for like 18-19 years of my life, and he's never given me nothing. If anything, he'd take us on a day out on the very, very rare occasion when we were kids, and I think my mum gave him the money for it, and she was working 3 jobs herself to be able to do that. So it's like, really where I am now, and a lot of the reason why I do these things is because for the position I'm in, I'm very, very grateful. So I don't give anything in order to receive anything. I give or like that's basically my way of saying thank you for being so blessed for my situation now, and at the same time I do get a lot back from that, because I actually love helping people and I love doing things, and in a mad way so does everyone. It's in our DNA. It's as a human being, that's what we're supposed to do. We're all supposed to help and support one another, but we're in this big constructed world now, which is like everyone's competing against each other, everyone, you know, comparing each other to one another, and it's like, you know, it's I think that a lot of the stuff which has happened over the last 12-18 months has been negative. It's affected people in a really you know, it's affected a lot of people. It's affected me in terms of like financially and stuff, but obviously I'm in a really good position, so it hasn't broke me, it hasn't left me bankrupt, but I have lost more money than what I'd have made if it weren't for everything what's happened over the last 18 months. But some people it's killed the businesses off. You know, their business revolves around nightlife and things like that. Lee Butler's my mate, I know he's had an absolute nightmare with it all, and I know loads of people who are in the same boat in different industries, but at the same time a lot of the positive what's come from it is people have realised the importance of nature. They've had time where they've connected with the family, they've had time where it's ripped them out of this matrix, so to say, and they're like, fucking hell, how enjoyable is it just going to the park and
going for a walk,
work 9 to 5, do a job that I don't enjoy. And
I think it has woken people up a bit.
I don't like using that term, because I'll never label someone and say they're woke and they're not, and that's one thing I disagree with, even in terms of people saying, well, they're wearing masks, and I always try and look at it from both points of view. Like, I don't wear masks, judge me, whatever, I don't wear them because for my own reasons. I won't even explain them because I don't believe I have to. I don't wear one. But I understand that people do wear them, and it's not because they're scared of catching COVID, which again, dead quick, do believe it's a real thing, but at the same time don't believe we should be living the way we're living in regards or in relation to it. But I know there's people out there who wear masks because, you know, they might be next to an L1 in a supermarket,
just being mindful of them.
Ones jumping away and moving, and they're doing it, you know, a lot of them are doing it, they're showing empathy for people who are scared of getting sick. So it's like, you know, I just believe everyone should just individually be able to live how they want to live, and we shouldn't be judging each other, because at the end of the day no one knows who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean?
That's been the sad thing, is there's been so much division, hasn't there?
These
last 18 months.
Division, even like the racism stuff and things like that, it's all about division. And like going back to what I was saying before, I actually drawn it on my phone, and it was something that would play in my mind, and I think about it regularly, is you've got this cycle going on between freedom and fear, and at the end of the day over there is the solution, and it's just love.
Yeah.
And on a deeper level, it's like they're feeding them and they're feeding them, these are in war against each other. But for me, if people spend time being healthy and living the right way, and if the media never selling fucking, you know, health and giving people free nutrition programs, they should be sending everyone vitamins and boosting their immune systems if these global pandemic.
Yeah, 100%.
They're just selling fear. The media sells fear.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what sells in our world. That's what people want to pay attention and want to listen to subconsciously, is fear. That's what they buy into. That's what sells newspapers. There's no positive newspaper or positive news channel. It's all negativity, and it's the same shit all the time. There has been for God knows how long.
Yeah.
Why do you think that, even on like a lesser, deeper level? I think it kind of frustrates me a little bit, but not that we do this for for views and stuff, but we had like a 97-year-old D-Day veteran in here. Unbelievable fella, like a proper hero, what he's done and how he lived his life, an amazing runner back in his day. And then you'll get someone, I don't know, you'll put like drugs in the title or like COVID or so, and people just are attracted to like this controversy and this shit, and I'm like, mate, you could learn so much from this 97-year-old who was on the D-Day landings. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know, he
brought all his memorabilia with him. It was fascinating, wasn't it?
It upsets me, like, I just think, again, nothing to do with the podcast, but I just think,
I totally get why you're upset, but at the same time, like, be conscious over giving too much, because that's just other people, and at the end of the day, it's the society we live in. I choose every morning to try and change that for the better. I don't focus on it in terms of, I don't let it affect me emotionally, but like, I try and put as much attention on how I can improve it and make it better. So for me, it's like Thursdays is my day of service, like a laugh, but I dedicate Thursdays to going in the schools, to working with the kids and obviously I do my thing with Awake, and we do run all the kids free classes and stuff like that. So
by the way, I've took my little girl a few times and she loves it. It's amazing what you do.
Ways to try and like, I'm basically seeing problems and trying to solve them for other people now. I haven't got no problems. My life's amazing. As I'm being at times, been through a lot of shit to get where I am now, but I haven't got no problems on the night. There's like, no one in my family's sick. I've got more than enough money to pay me bills and for whatever I need. So like, in terms of physically, mentally, I'm in great shape. It's like, my kids are healthy. There's absolutely nothing I want. So you could think of it in the sense that, like, I know fighters who've had the, you know, being fixated on achieving world titles and stuff like that, and they've got to that point, and then, you know, they don't know where to go and they feel lost, and it can cause a lot of fucking pain and suffering and mentally and stuff like that, where I think the solution for or what's helping me is I'm kind of pretty much close to being where I need to be in myself. I've got no issues, no problems, but how do I solve problems for other people now?
Helping other people.
And I've studied a lot of things which have got me to where I am, and I'm passionate now about sharing that information and knowledge and studying even more to be able to put that information out there. Mainly with, like, I look at kids, because I think, I've said this before, it's hard to change a 40-year-old man or woman who've been set in the same thought pattern. They've basically been programmed to think a certain way. Where if you go and get kids, they're still even, I know we say in the first 7 years they're in a theta state, which is a downloading state, and they download an environment and everything they see, hear, smell, taste, touch, everything. But you can still go and get kids who are 13, 14 years of age, who've had negative parents, so to say, and instilled their own self-limiting beliefs into the kids. They're still at an age where you can go and get them and change their mind just through showing them living examples or being an example yourself.
So true. I remember, like, my dad, he's, you know, in his 50s, and like he's set in his way, and he's like, you know, he's like he's great, he's, you know, he's my dad, I love him, he's my best mate, but I mean, with regards to positivity and like thinking that anything's possible, like he's do you know what I mean, he's gone. And what was funny, as you say, about young people is I obviously go around doing the talks and stuff, and now that people I've spoken to over the years are now old enough to have a beer and stuff, and I've had, like, been having a beer with my dad, and a kid's come up, well, I say kid, like a young man now, or girls come over and said, oh mate, it happened last night, I was in Smuggler's Cove last night having some food, and the waiter come over and said, oh mate, you come into my school a few years back, like, I still remember it now, amazing. Now, that's happened when I've been with my dad, and my dad sometimes can't get his head round, he's like, people can have my son who's like, you know, he can't think that it's had an impact on people. So yeah, I think you're totally right in what you're saying. Those young people are the ones, the future, aren't they?
At the same time, your dad's got his version of who Andy is. He's been like Andy's arse, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I've seen him grow up. So he's got his own. Everyone's got their own version of you. So that might be in his little world view of like who Andy is.
No, totally. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I guarantee he'll go away later on. He might be sitting thinking, "Fucking hell, that was like hippie dad."
Yeah, no doubt he is. Yeah.
So those first 7 years are just so important. Like I've got an eight month daughter, and
massive,
some of the stuff you were just saying before, like you know, about just keep trying.
It just, you know, literally just planting seeds. At the end of the day, you can't, you know, you have a massive effect on who your kids become. But my daughter's doing things which, like, you know, maybe I don't know what I believe in. But if there is reincarnation, like she was some crazy dancer, singer, and like erotic dancer, something. She just dances. I'm like, my missus definitely doesn't dance like that. I don't dance like that.
Yeah.
Where's she getting that from? No one's taught her it. She sings songs and puts words in there that I don't even know. Like, and she's chaining all these. I'm like, where does that come from? So it's not, you don't basically design and create your kids. They carry a lot of their own personalities and they pick things up from other, especially like with YouTube and things like that. But you can have a massive effect on the you know, the foundational beliefs, so to say, and things like that. You know, in terms of like, they can do anything what they want, and both my kids, I'm confident, believe in the fact that there's nothing they can't do.
Yeah, that's a big one. I seen a thing, I might have mentioned it last time we spoke, and it was like, rather than tell your kids all the time, like, your little girl, she's beautiful, tell her, like, you know, you can do anything you want, you know, you can be so clever, rather than like focusing on like beauty, which, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder type thing. Tell them, like, you can do anything you want, you know, rather than saying, oh, you look gorgeous today, whatever. I mean, say that as well, but focus on like the, you know, the academic, like, do you know what I mean? Be a bit more well-rounded with it.
Get me daughter, like, we'll see something like a table like that now, so can you jump on that?
Yeah.
And like, she used to have my wife would tell you, she'd be like, she won't go until she's done it. Like, she won't. She'd be there for ages, just trying. And that's like, I say, have you done it yet? She's, no, I'm still trying. And it's like, there's things like that, and they're for me, they're everything,
You talk about a purpose as well, mate. Although these aren't your children, but like those mornings you do, I know you do them on Otters Pool now, but I mean, what a feeling. I know from the speaking and when I've had, some feedback, like you talk about a purpose, what a feeling it is to know that you've helped people.
And I don't post people's messages, what they send to me. Like, each of their own post, people send you messages, definitely put it out there, it's positive. For me, I find a lot of them are personal. I get a lot of long messages and stuff like that. And I've never posted anyone's message, what they've sent me, but I get loads of messages off people saying how much these things have helped them. And for me, that's just feedback and information to say what you're doing, keep doing it. It motivates me to be so consistent with the post in the morning. It motivates me even when there's days I don't feel like it, to go and get the beach. Like before the beach, like, I mightn't sleep because I know I'm at the beach in the morning. I still get a bit nervous sometimes. And
really, yeah?
Yeah. And it's like, and I know I've got to go and give, like, I get up purposely, you've probably seen, I get up on a Thursday morning at 3:45, because I know for me to be at my best and for me to go and give good energy out, I've got to have exercised and done my motivational videos, and so I basically charge myself up to then go and deliver that on the beach or Otters Pool or whatever it is to the people. And then that, like, I feel mentally, like, because there's different forms of energy. You've got like physical energy, which is like fueled by glycogen and carbohydrates and food and everything else, but you've got mental energy. I feel mentally charged all day, but I feel physically tired. It does take a lot out of me. It's like you have a fight and you're on this high because your nerves and all that and your adrenaline, and then after you fight you're like, you're made up. Maybe you've won, maybe you've lost and you're pissed off. But there's different types, like physical energy and mental energy are two different things, and that does take a bit out of me, but at the same time, because I get the feedback of people who go there, and I know it's genuinely saved people's lives. They have had messages of people to say, don't realise now I've implemented all these different things, and people are sending me messages a week later, like selfies on the beach at 6 in the morning on their own, like women 40 years of age and 50 years of age, and I'm like, that's what motivates me and inspires me to keep doing it, because I know it's genuinely like, it's helping people, do you know what I mean?
And it's in a different place at the moment then, it's not the original like...
Yeah, unfortunately someone drowned on Crosby.
I seen that a couple of weeks back, wasn't it?
Yeah, a guy, he was a young fit lad as well, and he'd been, like, the story I'd heard is he was not even like in there swimming. I don't know whether he planned to go in the water. He'd been walking down the beach close to the water's edge, and like, you know, we had warnings and the council told us last time we were doing it, because they actually stopped it, didn't they?
Yeah.
He said that water's not safe, but because obviously all the COVID thing was coming in and people weren't social distancing at the time, and it was still early on at that point, but we thought maybe the main reason is because, you know, basically because everyone's hugging each other and loving each other and meditation on it. I thought they don't want that, that's like going to be upsetting to people, so we did think maybe the water's not safe, and there's a load of people, the 500-600 people all jumping in the sea. Only take someone to catch an elbow and get knocked out, or there was kids in there, and so we just thought that's a message from the universe. Maybe me and Mark, after speaking, and even Mark, thought, you know, let's just, you know, I'm doing stuff in the schools, doing a lot of the right things. Let's not rock the boat. Just take it as a sign we come away. This has happened last week, and that really, if anything, it just made me realise that we've been fortunate, not lucky, but we've been fortunate that in total we've had thousands of people in that water and everyone's got out safe.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you know.
So are you still doing then cold water stuff on Otters Pool? How are you working that then?
No, we're not doing no water, so we went there on a Thursday morning. I just done a little warm up. We obviously get everyone going, thank everyone for being there firstly. Tell them how proud you are, the fact that they've got up at 4:30 in the morning, people riding over on bikes. Shout out to Rob, your mate Rob Bush. I'll start tagging him in a few things, he's a legend he is, but he rides from Chester.
Wow.
Chester in the morning.
Fucking hell.
I got a car. Rides from Chester in the morning to Crosby Beach or to Otters Pool.
That's got to be 30 odd 40 miles, isn't it? Easy.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend, yeah. We've had people driving from Bolton. We had 2 women I got chatting to on Thursday. They drove over from Chester, absolutely loving it. Like,
It's incredible.
On a proper
Mate,
house.
I've had people from the military and from further afield who follow you after the first podcast, who are like...
There's mornings when like a few of them message me saying, can we have your permission to do this? When you're like, listen, I've copyrighted nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking get out there and do it. Get
Well,
as many
the win you
people
what's the lad in Plymouth? I can't think of his name again. Feel really bad. I speak to him quite a lot. Plymouth or...
You know what,
But it was in the paper, wasn't it? Down in like Devon.
Is he in your jacket? I think I might have heard it a second ago.
But he's I think from... I've spoke to him, but yeah, he's like proper started his own thing, and he had like hundreds of people.
Did he?
And it was in like the local paper saying that the podcast got a mention and marked it and everything.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It came from, you wouldn't believe how many things have come from the first podcast, what we done.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it? That first podcast did blow up, didn't it? And it was timed well
Yeah, I was
within...
going to say that time, it was great for it, wasn't it?
The timed so well with one thing, Mark, that I'll never forget. I think it was like it was later down the line when you started to do it, and I wrote to... does it start at 5 or 5:30? Is it 5?
5:30.
5:30 it starts. I rocked up in Crosby, and it was like people arriving to Woodstock Festival. Like the fucking whole road was full, and I remember driving down thinking, "Fucking hell, these neighbours must think something." Next minute,
Yeah.
I saw Mark. Was it Mark on a mission MC?
Yeah.
Fucking get out of his van with his speaker or something above him. And I remember thinking, Jesus, like if there's neighbour, obviously the whole road, it was people running down, it was just fucking chaos. I was like, Jesus, I hope
like
it...
obviously evolving and making progression. We've got Lewis Godby, who's my nephew, but he's a boss little DJ.
Seen him, yeah.
So at Louis Godby DJ, if anyone needs a boss DJ, honest to God, I'm not just saying that. He's a young kid and he loves DJ and he's having a go, so
Brilliant, yeah.
really appreciate if anyone books him in for any parties or anything like that. But he's the resident.
He's a resident DJ.
DJ now. He's there. His mum takes him. My sister-in-law, she comes, she gets involved. She's always at the front, big smile on her face. But they're there now every Thursday. So basically, we just pull up in the car, unload all the speakers, get the decks out, and it's like having a rave in a circuit, and then like proper yin yang, and then we go. Man takes over then, and he runs through. Like in my opinion, as far as meditation's concerned, he's the best I've come across. And I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. I wouldn't plug him or say that about him if I didn't believe he was. But I think in terms of like Scousers and local people, he's relatable, especially for men. And he's so passionate about what he does. And Martin takes everyone through a meditation, which I think the way that like I come out of them and I feel amazing off, to obviously do them with everyone, and I feel amazing off them. So it's just that basically combining the stuff what we speak about, so obviously the physical fitness, try and get everyone going, give them some appreciation for being there actually, so you can give yourself some appreciation for getting yourself up so early and being
Yeah, 100%, mate, yeah.
You know, when I think about the lockdown, like I've hated so much of it, but you know, a couple of the things which I've loved most, and funny old thing they've come from people, is when we went down to Crosby Beach, and when Marshall and Harriers, they ran 4 miles every 4 hours for a week, and you're seeing each day there was hundreds, you know, going, and I think they probably did 2 best things over the last 18 months. And funny old thing, it's been when people have come together.
Yeah.
You know, what's that say about life?
You
know,
at the minute the world's, you know, there's a lot of separation going on, and it's being constructed through the news and the media. My advice to people is just switch that shit off, because that's what it's there for. That's what sells. That's what people want. So all these albums now, don't get me wrong, you've got to be cautious to some extent, but you've got to live as well. So it's like, you know, living in fear is the worst thing ever, because actually living in fear and living in a state of stress weakens your immune system. So all the media now, they want to stop people basically getting sick, everything's vaccines, this, that and the other. But all the media has ever done is sold fear. And what fear does is releases chemical, because everyone's chemistry, every feeling, emotions, chemistry, it releases chemistry in your brain, which shuts your immune system down. 99 fucking point whatever the percent of diseases which exist in this world are in our bodies now as we're sitting here now, and they're called opportunistic organisms, which means they're just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to attack your body, to make you sick, to kill you, to create disease. But how they do that is, well, the opportunity which they're waiting for is basically your immune system to have a day off. Your immune system to not be functioning as it's supposed to, so that then they can attack you and cause the disease, create the sickness. Like less than, I think it's around 1% of all disease in the world now is due to a defective gene. So it means basically you're born with it, it's hereditary, or like, but they say now that statistically 1 in 2 people get some form of cancer. So that's environmental, and that's through what you're consuming. and I don't just mean food, obviously food's important, your diet's important, but for me, there's more stress and fear, anxiety, anger causing sickness and killing people, creating disease, than a bad diet. Because there's people in fucking Tibet living till 120 years of age, smoking bifters. I mean, what's the secret to living so long?
Yeah.
And you just say compassion and love. So your immune system will operate at full capacity, at its best, when you're in a state of love and happiness. That's why when you fall in love with your bird, you never get sick. How's your nose ever been like fell in love, being in a honeymoon period, and you never get sick?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because your immune system, everything in your body's functioning at its very best when you're in a state of love.
And then you see you in like Sardinia and stuff as well, people living to like 110, and again you can say all different things, but I seen one and she was like, drink a glass of red wine a day or something, but she's like got all her family around, she's all loving it.
Tibet who fucking lived till 120 years of age.
In fact, who's the oldest person alive then?
It's amazing. No, I've seen it.
It's 120, isn't it?
And I always remember seeing that one about a glass of wine a day, and I was like, God, you get told, oh, you can't do that. It is, isn't it, about you surround.
Mate, the minute you shift your belief, so like a lot of you have a self-image, so if you see yourself as lean, athletic and whatever, and like this sounds absolutely bonkers, but the minute you shift your belief onto like what you're eating's going to make you fat, you can actually go fatter. Like a lot of people won't understand that. I've studied science, I'm not just like, I've studied the science behind manifestation, creation, self-image, all these different psychology. That's everything, is your mind. But people can eat certain things, and if their image of themselves is a skinny person, they don't. But like you can say it's metabolism. Yeah, obviously metabolism plays a part. But like a great example is you get fighters, like because I've experienced this myself, who have to be a particular weight on a certain day. They visualise and see themselves being, it could be 12 stone, it could be walking around at 14 stone. On the 12th of fucking August at 12 o'clock, they've got to be 12 stone, not 11 stone 11 or 12 stone 1, they've got to be 12 stone. And they see that for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, guarantee unless they see themselves missing weight, they're going to stand on them scales at 12 stone. Do you know what I mean? That's not all physical, that's mental.
I remember you saying last time, and I've had it before, is say for example when you were fighting, before you were fighting you were worried about getting ill, whether that's a cold or flu or whatever, and because you're worried about it so much, and I've had this before, like if I'm going on a big trip, I'm like, I don't want to get ill, fucking don't want to get ill, and sure enough I'm fucking ill.
You're putting all your attention and your energy and your focus on getting sick at the same and that's physical, so that's illness. But it's the same with money. Everything's energy in the world. We're energy, everything's energy. We say energy. It's all energy. And whatever you put your focus and your attention on, you create more of. Do you know what I mean? And that's not just law of attraction.
Mate, wait, you're thinking like this, because one of the questions when I put out, we had you coming on, is, you know, with your mindset like this, I mean, how do you cope with the bad days then? I mean, yeah, you know, from everything that you've just said the last hour and a half, it's pretty obvious, but I mean, you are only human, you do have off days.
Yeah, that's like...
How would you kind of combat it?
I never have a bad morning, put it that way, and I'm consistent and I'm disciplined in, you know, me actions and me thinking, and so I control what I can control. If it's out of my hand and I can't control it, then I accept it, and I'll try and figure out ways to adapt, adjust, do whatever I need to do to get me back in a good state or a good place, which is not always, it's not always going to happen. I still have shit days, if you want to call them shit days, character building days, you want to call them that, bad days, call them whatever you want. Every day for me is not like a party, it's not amazing, you know what I mean? I have me days where things aren't going great, but I know that everything comes to pass, and it's like that whole like, you know, your bad days come to pass, your good days come to pass. I just accept every day for how it is, and I control what you know, I take control over what I can, which is myself. I'm like, why I'm so big and I stress over the mornings is because in that period of time in the mornings I've got full control over my thoughts, my actions, over everything.
As the day goes on, you get less control and can't, I guess. Once 9 o'clock
comes, I drop the kids off at school, I go to work, I'm around people who, you know, necessarily haven't got control over the people who I'm around. Someone else might be having a bad day. It's my job then to not let that affect me. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean there's people who've got to be around who maybe I don't want to be around, and they might be negative people. So again, that's just through learning and practice.
You made a great point as well on the phone the other day, and you said, you know, your morning routine doesn't have to be like you say, getting up at 5, cold shower, meditating. It could be getting up at 5 or 6. It could be, it doesn't have to be 5. And it could be having, I think you used the example of having 10 minutes to yourself and having a bifter outside.
I put a video on the other week, and again, I don't expect everyone to be and do exactly what I do. I'm going to put that information out there. If you want to adjust it, change it, works for you, it doesn't. I might have 5 morning rituals. Well, if you implement one of them and that gives you a better morning, then I've fucking like 5, done. Let's go,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you've got to do everything what I do, but I've formulated a morning routine. I've robbed loads of, well, I haven't robbed, I've actually took information from other successful people who are in places where I've wanted to be at some stage, seen what they're doing, tried what they're doing. Some things have worked, some things haven't. So it's over creating a structure which works to bring the best out of you. And everyone's different, everyone has different working hours. You know, it's gaining an understanding of yourself and then figuring out and creating a structure which brings the best out of you ultimately. That's what these morning routines are about. They're about how do I become the best version of myself, what do I need to implement, and then obviously having the discipline to follow it through. And like again, a good quote is, discipline is basically having the capability to give yourself a command, and when you don't feel like doing it, actually like following it through and sticking to it, because you know further down the line it's gonna benefit you. It would be great to eat chocolate every day if you love chocolate and not exercise, but how long can you do that for before, no matter how mentally strong you are, it's gonna affect you negatively. So you know, that's what.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. Is there any questions that because you posted some?
Yeah, that was one of them. Another one was, loads of them were about that, to be fair, mindset.
I have bad days, just to make that clear.
And that was a big one, you know.
Some shit days, I stick to my routine. You know, I do sleep through my alarm every blue moon, but you know, it's not about, you know, it's not 365 days I am on this thing, but I am on it a lot more than I'm off it, and I control what I can control, and I have more good days than I have bad days, because that's basically me perspectives, me beliefs, the stuff what I've learned and I've practiced over time to create the person who I am right now. It can take a long time, especially if you come from a negative environment, or you know, you've got these self-limiting beliefs. I'm still learning a lot about myself now. I
think that's the thing now, especially with Instagram, that instant gratification. You can see someone and going, right, you know, he's getting up at 5, he's doing this, he's doing that, I want to do it the next day. Why aren't I like him? You know, it takes time.
Don't beat yourself up if you have a bad day off, or if you try that and it doesn't, like you said, you struggle meditating, but at the same time, for the beliefs what I've got, the reason why I'm so passionate over getting kids meditating, all this meditation is self-awareness. It's the practice of becoming familiar with yourself, who you are. So that's what meditation is. Meditation, you're not shit at meditating if you can't sit there for 10 minutes with your fingers like that and your eyes closed. That's not what meditation is. That's obviously part of the meditation practice. Like if you speak to mindfulness, it's about the awareness of your thoughts, and that's why for me it's so valuable, because basically the kids who I'm working with, the adults, people who I'm around, 95% of the day you're operating subconsciously, so you don't actually know what you're thinking. The best way to figure out what you're thinking is to look at the results, what you get in life, and then work backwards from there. So if you're not getting the results what you want, well, that's down to you know, maybe you've got self-limiting beliefs, things which you've downloaded which aren't even true. Do you know what I mean? But 95% of the day, 95 plus, you're operating a subconscious program, which a lot of it is based on the first 7 years of your life. Do you know what I mean? So you've got the reason why meditation is so important, why it's important to be consistent with it, is because by practicing meditation, you're practicing self-awareness, you're learning about yourself. You've got to learn about yourself and learn what your faults are if you want to become a better person.
Totally,
yeah.
You've got to learn about what your strengths are.
And so you've got to know where you've been to know where you're going, type thing, innit?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's all meditation is. I meditate driving down the road sometimes, and that might sound crazy, and I haven't crashed yet. But all I'm doing is I'm fully aware, I'm checking in with myself, I'm asking myself how I'm feeling, I'm taking, you know, I love, like, me missus laughs, but I absolutely love trees. I've got like an obsession with the colour green. You probably see from the t-shirt and stuff like that. There's an option of buying something and there's a green one, I'll buy the green one. But I don't know what it is, I've always had this love for like trees. I've got trees at the back of my house, backs onto woods, and
forests are cooler, aren't they?
I stand there every morning with the tea in my back garden after getting my cold shower, not a stitch on, just looking into the trees, just the pure like gratitude, and that's a little moment for like a couple of minutes to myself.
Mate, someone else wanted to know, well, a couple of people actually, when's the book coming out?
I don't know.
People are like, he needs to write a book.
First,
No, genuinely, yeah, I had to go straight for mine.
No, to be honest,
Is that not something you've ever thought about?
I've still got a lot of work to do on myself before I'd be at that stage.
But even not so much even autobiography, even just something along the lines of your thinking and, you know...
Yeah, I'd buy it, mate.
Stuff like this, I think, definitely helps, but I'm very cautious over what I put time into and where I put my energy and things like that. And at the minute, I'm still in the process of coming away from working businesses. I've started selling some businesses what I'm involved in and stuff like that, because I'm creating passive streams of income to where I can earn the most money with the least amount of time and energy. Because the way I've earned money is not off, like, if you love motivational speaking and that puts a roof over your head and gives you everything what you need, then you've already retired, in my opinion. That's retirement, you're done. If you're earning money and a living and providing for your family, giving a service which you do for nothing, then you...
I said that to a client the other day, you know, he's like, he booked me and done it, went great. I am a little bit like that in that sense. And he was like, and I was like, he said, you love what you do? He said, is it good to be back with people and stuff? And I went, oh mate, I'd do this for nothing. And he was like, I remember that next time. But I would, mate. I love it, man.
Where I haven't, like, I've had to create ways, again, through the likes of law of attraction study and stuff like that, you know, years ago. I've realised that for me to earn money, I've got to create a love for money. My love for money, I love giving money away, which might sound mad to some people, but I know there'll be a lot of people who'll relate to. Like, you could say, I get a better feeling maybe from, you could say, a kid who hasn't got nothing, buying him a pair of trainees than going and
buying yourself a pair,
expensive pair of shoes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Totally.
Mate,
part of my...
I was just going to say, it's such a good, because unfortunately money is so frowned upon, and people have this thing, and certainly in the media, and you know, if you dare to look online on Twitter and things like that, you know, especially around billionaires and things, and why is Jeff Bezos going to space and blah blah. I don't give a fuck about it. I just look up to people like that because they're billionaires for a reason, like they've done fucking something right.
It's your intention at the end.
Yeah.
No matter what, you'll never create wealth. Whatever you view of wealth is my I've got loads of different, like, wealth, healthy brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Most chemistry is how you feel. The brain chemistry, that's what it is, just an expression of your feeling. So, like, if you feel good all the time, you feel happy, you feel fulfillment and all that, then you're wealthy. It's not about how much money you've got in the bank, but then in reality, you've obviously still got to have money. Because if you haven't got money and it becomes a problem, then all your energy is focusing on this problem, which is obviously creating money, which you need money. So it's like, you know, everyone's got a different interpretation of what wealth is. For me, wealth is having time to be present with my kids, so, like, not worrying over having to ring 5-6 people back, get emails back, having 50 million messages that I haven't got round to reading on Instagram. It's like, there's a lot of things I value, like obviously having time to do things for myself, having time to spend maybe with my mum, with friends who I haven't seen, because I've had to prioritise work, because, like, obviously I want to be in a certain position financially to where I've got enough passive income that I don't have to continue to keep giving time and energy away to earning money doing something which I don't enjoy, if that makes sense.
That was a question, mate. Like, what is work for you? People are keen to know. How would you sum up if someone said what you do?
Fucking, I don't know where to start. I've got a restaurant on Castle Street. I'm part of a property development company, so we build, like, apartments and commercial units and things like that. I've got away. I ran, like, a marketing company for a couple of years, but I've come away from that now. I've got a security company, so, like, there's a lot of things what people don't really know. I've got more business partners than fucking I've got fingers. So to a certain extent, I've had to study all these certain things to be able to spin so many plates and juggle things without losing the plot, because I know there's definitely been times where I don't use the word stress, but I've had times where my mind's been busy and my thoughts are being fuzzy, and so I've had to, like, again, I have to create a routine which enables me to still be able to operate, and, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm obligated to speak to certain people because they're business partners, I work with them, and I've got to make decisions on certain things. But I want to come away from that to where I basically got enough money to pay for whatever I need, enough money to continue investing, so I know that I'm still secure in my future, and enough money to be in a position to where I can actually help people doing the things what we do with, like, as you know, Awake's a business which
It's brilliant, mate.
manifested and created to just provide a service for other people in terms of free meditation for kids, free fitness sessions for kids, and to get adults to come in and give them a boss.
It's so good, and I've took Albert a good few times, and it's so great when you go there and you're just seeing so many people in the same boat, so grateful for the kids getting these free classes.
People can't believe it.
It's unbelievable, mate.
Even like Thursday on, we've got a digital detox on Thursday, so again, the digital detox is basically, I know there's a problem when people spend, guilty of it myself sometimes, definitely not Mr. Perfect, spend too much time on phones and iPads, and kids are on these games and things like that, and I know it's a real big problem in society. So basically, like, I'm so grateful to be in a position to where Thursday we've got, it started out with 120 people. Well, I had 350-seater coaches this Thursday. We set off from Awake at 9 o'clock in the morning. We come back at 5. It's a secret. We don't tell anyone where we're going. So it's...
I remember because we were booked on last one, and then it was COVID and all that.
Cancelled. So, because obviously now we can do certain things, we booked this digital detox. So I had 350-seaters. We take people out in nature. So where we're going Thursday, you won't see where it is, but it's a nice walk. And there's a cold dip there. There's a lake. On the way there, I buy colouring in books, drawing books, felt tip pens, and I buy prizes from like B&M. I might go and spend 50 quid in B&M on like fidget toys, little things like that. So we get the kids basically imagining something on the bus on the way there, drawing something, and then I give prizes out to the winners, and then on the way home they have get the book again, and they'll write a story about the day, what they enjoyed. And again we give prizes out, so it's like, we take kids, get them off the phones, get them all, you know, parents and kids communicating and
just engaging in each other.
Kids making new friends. Just basically take these things which have become distractions away from everyone. So that take them out in nature so they appreciate nature. Might do a cold dip, but it's like there's no phones. I collect everyone's phones and on the bus before we go there. Actually, like, say to people, look, today it's just about being present.
That's a great idea, mate.
Forget about your phones.
Just gutted when we couldn't do it last
time. I know, yeah.
And we go on a full day out, and like, you've never seen, like, on the way there people are hesitant over giving you the phones and stuff like that, because I'm standing with a box putting a sticky note on the phone to name on. Phone goes in the box, you're not getting it back till 5 o'clock. So people are like,
a lot of people would be like, oh.
They'd be like, sweat like cold turkey, like they haven't had a cigarette.
Cancel, like, we get people not coming on the day purely because they can't do it. They away from the phone.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Just the anxiety, like, you know, they're handing over the life and that. Like. But then by the end of the day, when I'm standing with a bucket now, no one wants them back. That's the best thing about it. The kids are writing like basically their experience from the day. We've enjoyed playing. I made a new friend. I rolled down. Last time, there's a big hill we went to Langone last time. All the kids were just rolling down this hill. And like loads of them are putting, like, the best thing about today was rolling down this hill.
It's mad, isn't it?
To do, like, phones, and you know what, it's like, it's free, they don't pay. Like, I basically fund it through the construction company what I'm in, the development.
It's amazing, mate, that you can do that, man.
It's like, for me, that I get more of a feeling from that and being in a position to do that than I get from fucking any car, any material thing that I've ever had. Like, the joy I get from seeing people happy from something so simple as taking the phones off them and taking them on a free day out, it's like there's nothing compares to it. And again, it just finds
it's giving me a good feeling just thinking about that, you know, just thinking about people being free. It gives me a good feeling just thinking, wow, that's
like, I've got Diane, who's my partner on Awake. She's amazing at what she does in terms of, you know, we basically fund the kids' classes out of the money what we make from Awake, and COVID did us, so it's been like, you know, it hasn't been as busy as it should be, and, you know, we've had to depend on grants just to cover rent, and, you know, it's not nowhere near as busy as it was pre-COVID. We'll get back there, but, you know, we still had the kids' classes anytime we've been allowed. There's still been all the kids' classes, we've still been running, whether we've had to fund them ourselves or whatever. But for me to be in a, like, speaking over like money and wealth and things like that, that's true wealth, being in a position to be able to take. We had 120 people booked on within 24 hours. I get 30 spaces for friends and family. I've now in the process of organising another 50-seater coach, because all my mates have messaged me saying there's no spaces left on the day out, and I only allocated 30 spaces. So ultimately Thursday we'll have 200 people on the day out. I take Polaroid cameras so they can capture the experience and take pictures
rather than on the phone. Yeah,
of course.
And there'll be no mobile, so it's like for me, that's amazing. I can't wait till Thursday. Like, and to be in a position to be able to do that, you can probably tell I can't like explain.
Yeah,
now.
mate, you got a big cheesy grin now, mate. Thinking about it.
That's worth more than anything to me. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, where can, just for people, because obviously if we, we're going to try and push people towards Awake. So Awake is obviously in Liverpool. I don't know the exact because I haven't been, mate, but I can put the links in the description.
It's on Prescott Road in Old Swan. Just go on Awake Liverpool, the Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I say, really, if there's a message I can get across today, utilise these free sessions for kids. You don't need any money. Just drop them off and you'll get them back an hour later. G, the girl who takes the kids, is absolutely fantastic with kids. Kids love her.
I can vouch as well. I was just saying that because you're sitting here, mate.
Amazing, yeah.
Alba's been a good few times and she's loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it.
Another shout out to Sean T. He's on Sean T, Coach Sean T.
I'm not sure.
So Coach Sean T is another fucking absolute like legend. If my daughter brought him home, I'd be like, get in. Do you know what I mean? What a
guy.
You gotta think a lot about someone as a man to like think that way about like your daughter. This lad on you be like, yes. He's an absolute diamond. He started making videos in through lockdown, basically coaching for kids, free videos himself in his living room in the park. He's done some martial arts. His mum's a school teacher. She's a lovely woman. They've done an amazing job with Sean. But Sean basically started doing these live videos. I'd seen him coaching in Gym 21. It's like a big weightlifting gym, taking some lads on the pads and stuff like that. Off his own back, he's created this thing called the martial arts mindset. So he's working, obviously, in helping the kids get physically fit, explaining to them the importance through martial arts and stuff like that. But he's like blocked the negativity. He's planting all these seeds in the kids. He's working with kids in schools, like kids in... Like,
this makes me want to be a kid again.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But the job he does with the kids, so basically I've seen him and like headhunted them to come and coach the kids in Awake. What he does is his own program, it's his own brand. I'm absolutely nothing to do with it. I haven't helped him in any way in terms of the program what he delivers to the kids, but like he's getting loads of attention now. People are realising and appreciating what he's doing. So we have him on a Tuesday, and again that's paid for through Awake. Like we pay him to come in and take the kids.
Yeah, you need to get down, man. It's brilliant.
Utilise Sean, utilise G for these classes, because sometimes they're quiet, and I think it's a case of people maybe don't know about them. Some people still aren't aware of the fact you don't have to pay for them. The adults classes fun, the kids classes they're free. If you've got no money, we'll babysit your kids for an hour and you'll get them back happier than when you drop them off. That's the goal. So,
mate, another thing about all this health, another question was, do you drink? Are you teetotal?
I'm going to the state reunion tonight, so I'll probably have a few drinks, but I don't drink very often. I couldn't tell you how many times exactly, but maybe 4 times a year.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, so tonight's a big day.
Yeah. Me miss will have a cob on me if I don't throw some shapes out. I love all the old I'm obviously the 05 one here. I never really went out to town much or nothing like that when I was younger, but
I got to go to the 05 about 3 or 4 times.
All my tunes, all like the Lee Butler's a legend for me.
Yeah.
Still get starstruck when I see Lee today. But that's all like, so yeah, I do drink not
often, but
not as often as probably most people, but I drink when I feel like it. It's not something like I think a lot of people drink every weekend as a bit of an escape and things like that, which there's nothing wrong with, but
not for you.
It's not for me, no.
Not for you, yeah.
Maybe I know you said
we got to shoot now.
Now I know why. It's because you're getting your party stuff on that.
And just before I go, Chris, win the morning, win the day. That's who we touched on before. So Chris seen the podcast, and now he's in Gosport. He's
Gosport, yeah.
Full-on like Scouser. He's seen there's a couple more who tag me and things, but Chris is like really going for it and helping a lot of people. I know he's getting a lot from it himself, like feelings wise. He's doing a great thing. So I'm just going to give him
100%.
And apologies because I've spoke to him a little bit as well, so sorry Chris, but keep up what you're doing.
Doing this win, he's like branding this win your morning, win your day now, which came from the podcast, and we spoke about the ripple effect, didn't we?
Yeah.
And there's other people now contacting Chris. He's actively contacting people and he's running with it and he's doing amazing things, so I just want to give him a little bit of appreciation.
Yeah, no problem, mate. And Awake as well.
Well, we've recorded you're listening to this on a Monday, we've recorded it on a Friday at 5 o'clock, and mate, you've set me up for my weekend. I'm feeling
that was the goal.
Feeling good vibes, mate, so mate, thanks so much again.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you, mate.